This semester, our group has decided on the social issue of affordable housing, in particular, the lack of affordable housing in Hawaii for middle and lower income homes. This issue is a part of a never-ending chain of social, economic, and environmental instability. We've contacted State Senator Josh Green to give us some more information as to what is happening on the Senate floor towards this social issue. He is a member of the Human Services and Hawaiian Affairs committees here in Hawaii and was a major spearhead on the microhousing project.
It's a huge issue. It's probably, I think, affordable housing and homelessness are our biggest social issues right now. If I had to say what our priorities need to be, and it's tied into a ton of other things. It's tied into living wage. It's tied into cost of living here in general. So, you tell me what questions you want me to answer. So, housing has to be a right, and the lack of affordable housing is a major problem because it's a reflection of not having a good enough working economy for middle-class workers and young people, so that you can make a wage that matches with the cost of, renting, or, some people would like to buy, but even just renting, right? So it's a huge problem, and it becomes a challenge because then also we can't have a workforce easily here in the state. So really, we either have to have more subsidized housing or raise wages or have new models of housing, which I think we're going to probably talk about later in this interview. These other solutions are decent fixes. The idea of having a unit on your property, an accessory unit, for instance, if I can speak to the one on the Capitol grounds that was built, that unit is like an efficiency apartment. It's a standalone unit on someone's property. It can be built. The materials cost $20,000, and the labor to put it together, depending who does it, probably somewhere $60,000 to $70,000. So for $80,000 total, you have an efficiency apartment on your property, and you can justify a much lower rent to cover the cost. For that all in, a $600 or $700 a month rent will at least cover the costs of having put it up and whatnot. If someone were to get maybe $1,000 or $1,100, they'll quickly pay it off. And there's some talk about subsidies, but that's certainly a way to get a lot more housing here available. Another big benefit of that is you integrate communities. So if people who have lots and houses on their lots do this, they do an accessory, dwelling on their property, it intermixes people that are just starting in their careers and don't have as high wages, and people that have probably been more established, and so it's nice. It integrates society. In House Bill 100, which is the budget bill, there's a significant amount of money in the revolving housing trust fund. Mm-hmm. I wish it was a lot more. I think we have $25 million, which can be leveraged by developers to build very, very affordable housing for people that are near the federal poverty levels to buy or rent. Mm-hmm. Turns out those dollars are used for credits to afford loans to build things at a more affordable rate. But it's really never enough. We're very far behind. So I think that in some cases this is going to be a private sector solution where people build small units and they make it available at a rental rate that's affordable. I'm working on other projects. For instance, I'm working with the city and county right now on a property in Chinatown which will add 42 units, very small, 200 square foot apartments, but also have a health clinic and a hygiene center. And that could be very helpful because that's dealing with people who are chronically homeless and who are really suffering very badly. They need just any kind of help. The issues you're taking up more are housing for people because of the shortage of the housing inventory, and that requires building and in some cases subsidies. Sometimes rental assistance is necessary. There's a whole spectrum of needs for people. Everybody's a little bit different. One of the best things to do is to really pump up the revolving funds for the building, for the purposes of building more units. The Revolving Housing Trust Fund can help for every about $120,000 that's in there, a unit can be built. And those are through bonds, so the state can get very low rates, and then people can build. I think that we have to build. You know, the population's growing. Also, we need more sensible housing. Things have changed a lot. In the 60s, 70s, 80s, people liked big houses, and there weren't, it wasn't a lot of apartment dwelling. Things have changed a lot. And I think a lot of people, millennials, like yourselves, are interested in, being more mobile, traveling, being out in the environment. So we do have to build, and we have to build more sensibly. I don't think that it's not going to be common that someone in their 20s wants to buy a 4,000 square foot house in Honolulu, and it's going to be extraordinarily expensive. But people should be able to afford a nice rent for a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment. And to do that, it's the Revolving Housing Trust Fund. It is some rental subsidies for certain circumstances. But again, I come back more to the core. I would rather see people make a higher wage, be able to afford more, and it goes into the system, for tax purposes, and we don't have to have subsidies then, but we adjust as a society. Everyone should have a wage that they can easily live on. And if we do that, which also comes with better educational opportunities, that goes even back further. The living wage comes after somebody has had good enough training, good enough education to earn it. And to get good enough education, we have to fund good public schools and community college, and then, as far as I'm concerned, interest-free loans or very low-rate loans for college. So all these things kind of fall into a sequence, and that's kind of my feeling on how we should approach it. Comfortable writing them or calling. It only takes a few seconds, and to be persistent that way, or to have one's group of people, Facebook friends or whomever, persistently pressure legislators to have the right priorities, makes a big difference. So it doesn't always have to be in person. It's nice if a person can come down, but it is, I admit, sometimes challenging to know how the schedules work and whatnot. So, but know your own legislator and develop a relationship and express your desires, and you should not be surprised to see things get done that way.
I didn't know that it was so easy to contact, not only in person, but online.
Of course. If you go to the Capitol website, you can quickly do it. Of course, we've met through just social interactions in the community, right?
Yes.
And you were able to get my phone number and my email, and I'm pretty available. But a lot of the other legislators at least will get their work phone numbers and emails.